A very good morning to all of you. Welcome back to Physics Online Lecture 10. I am R. Venkateswara Rao, Senior Assistant Professor of Physics, Indian Institute of Engineering and Technology. In the previous lecture, already we have been discussed the various concepts regarding the optical fiber. In this lecture, I am going to discuss regarding the differences between the step index optical fiber and the grade index optical fiber. So already we discussed the principle and working of both the fibers. In this lecture, I am going to discuss the comparisons or the differences between the step index and grade index optical fiber. If you observe carefully, the step index optical fiber is also known as a reflective type. The refractive index of the core is uniform throughout the core and is suddenly decreases at the core cladding boundary. Whereas in the case of grade index optical fiber, the refractive index is maximum near the axis of the fiber and decreases in a parabolic manner on either side of the axis. The diameter of the core lies between 10 to 200 micrometers in the case of step index optical fiber, whereas in the case of the grade index optical fiber, the diameter of the core is about 50 micrometers. And the third important difference is the light propagates in the form of multiple internal reflections along the optical fiber in the case of step index, whereas in the case of grade index, the light propagates in a zigzag manner. And the most important fourth difference is the light propagates in a continuously reflected manner in the case of grade index fiber, whereas in the case of step index fiber, it undergoes multiple internal reflections. This is one more difference between the step index and the grade index optical fiber. And then coming to the one more difference, the step index fibers are reflective type fibers, whereas the grade index fibers are refractive type fibers. And the attenuation is more for the multi-mode fibers and it is less for the single mode fiber in the case of step index optical fiber, whereas in the case of grade index optical fiber, the attenuation is less for the grade index optical fiber. The numerical aperture is more for the multi-mode step index and it is less for the single mode. The numerical aperture is less in the case of grade index optical fiber. The signal distortion is more for multi-mode fibers and it is less for single mode fiber. In the case of grade index optical fiber, the signal distortion is very low. And the number of modes of propagation in the step index fiber is represented by a mathematical equation n suffix I, whereas in the case that is n suffix I is equal to 2 into pi square a square numerical aperture square by lambda square, whereas the number of modes in the grade index optical fiber is represented by n suffix gi, that is equal to pi square a square by square of numerical aperture divided by lambda square, where pi is a mathematical constant, a is the radius of the optical fiber core, and Na is the numerical aperture, lambda is the operating wavelength of the optical fiber. These are the important comparisons or differences between the step index optical fiber and the grade index optical fiber. Already we discussed in detail the comparisons of both the fibers and their working principles as well as how the light propagation takes place in detail in the previous lectures. Thank you. If you have any queries, please feel free to contact via my WhatsApp or mail ID. Thank you so much.